know.
Yes, that will always work.
So this is working. Why is it not?
Anna's the one that texted me and said, "Can you hear them?" And I pulled you up on my phone to watch too, and nothing. Neither of us have sound.
Can you hear me now? Keith, do you want to raise your hand real quick? Just so I have some kind of trigger to see.
Nothing.
That was pretty close to live.
Can you hear me now? Keith, do you want to raise your hand real quick?
Huh.
I'm really sorry, guys. We're working out the kinks here.
18 minutes live.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we'll start the questions from the top. We're not going to read back through the whole briefing, but I'll put it online. I'll put it in all the comments everywhere so that you can download it if you'd like. It's all pretty simple, and we're going to explain it again and give the same briefing again the morning of, and I'll personally give the same briefing to everybody regardless of when you show up for the event. So our first question from Garrett was, I'm new to rucking. What type of gear or equipment do you recommend to get started? Shoes, backpacks, or weights?
Yeah, so really any pair of comfortable running or walking shoes is going to be a good choice, right? I would stay away from sandals or hey dudes. You want something that has a little bit of support. If you're doing many rucks, you probably don't want to go in your off-the-shelf Adidas. A really important thing is definitely not a brand new pair of shoes. That's going to cause blisters and hot spots that you're going to want to avoid. So really comfortable shoes. Hey, we got sound. Good. We have confirmation we have sound. Comfortable shoes, walking, running shoes are great. If you have boots, that's a great option as well. You're going to want
combat boots, not cowboy boots.
Yeah, not cowboy boots.
Don't
Good
rock
idea.
cowboy boots.
Yeah. You're going to want a good pair of shorts that you don't chafe in, because that'll happen. And you're going to want socks, and probably a change of socks if you plan on doing multiple trips. As you sweat and your socks get wet, that's going to start leading to blisters and hot spots in your feet, and that'll end your day really quick. For a pack, any commercially available pack is good. Any food that you have must be in a backpack, right? You can get a JanSport, an Under Armour backpack, or if you have an old Alice pack, an Alice frame from your military days, that'll work. Food can't be in a stroller or in a wagon of any kind. It has to be in a pack on your back for it to count for the trip.
Next question.
Oh, wait, one more. Oh. And if you do have a brand new pack, I recommend you test it out for a mile or two to see if it rubs anywhere, if there's any sharp pokey parts that will, again, cause discomfort. You want to be comfortable, because anyone who's done a ruck in the military knows when you have a pack on and it's rubbing your hips the wrong way, it'll really ruin your day.
We're in no way, shape, or form affiliated or sponsored by GoRuck. We do love their shoes.
Yeah.
I would say I love their packs. They are great for rucking, for fitness. You don't want to use that type of pack for this event because you're not going to be able to fit much in it.
Yep.
Next question. This gym seems to have a military theme. Is it family friendly and welcoming to those who are not or have not served in the military?
Yeah, so outside of the ruck, we are a gym, and we train from 5 a.m. is our first class all the way until 6:30, 7 o'clock. Our last class ends. We accept people of all fitness levels. So while we did start this with veterans in mind, wanting to be a place for men and women that get out and they lose that tribe and that sense of purpose you get in the military, you have a place to go and be among people that are, seeking to better themselves. But at the same time, there's nothing better than seeing a mom and a daughter working out together. There's nothing better than seeing parents working out with our 1-year-old resident toddler walking around, getting into the lacrosse balls. So we're absolutely accepting of all. We can adjust the programming depending on your fitness level, even if you're injured, right? We can work around injuries to get you lifting weights, being healthier, and living a better life.
Currently, I believe our youngest member is 13.
13,
and our
yeah.
oldest member is 63.
Correct.
Are baby strollers and dogs welcome or allowed during the rucks? Do babies in carriers count as a weighted pack? So this is more towards our monthly rucks. We do rucks almost all year. We have free monthly rucks throughout the summer and fall. We take a break in the winter because ice sucks. It's dangerous. For this specific ruck, we're not going to count your baby towards your donation. But you can always bring your baby, bring your kids, push a stroller on the route. It's just not going to count towards your donation points.
And bring your dogs as long as they're other dog, friendly with dogs, and we don't have to worry. They must be on leashes, obviously, but make sure they're not, they're people friendly and dog friendly as well.
Yeah. So again, we do a ruck every month. Earlier in the year, it's a lot easier if you want to bring your dog. later in the year, when we start doing 12, 15, 18 miles, make sure your dog is capable of huffing it with us the entire time. I wouldn't bring my dog out unless I've done that distance with my dog in that weather before. If I become a member of the gym, will the training program help prepare me for longer distance rucks?
Absolutely. On top of our monthly rucks, because one, we love doing it. It's better than running. We're not much runners. But the programming is definitely built to get you stronger, to get you more fit, to improve your VO2 max. And we also prescribe, like your level 2, rucking outside of the gym on your days off. Go for a 2-mile, 3-mile ruck. See if you can increase your weight as you go. But overall, the gym is going to get you healthier. And the rucks are able to, we do the rucks so you can use that fitness on top of challenge yourself too. If you've never walked 9 miles with 20, 30, 40 pounds on your back, it gets pretty tough. That's why we start with only 6 miles in April and we build up to 22 miles in November, December timeframe. So we progress just like as we lift and get stronger, as our mile runs get faster, our rucks get longer and people add more weight. So absolutely the gym program will get you in shape for our rucks.
Do the rucks cost money? No, we have one ruck throughout the year that costs money. That's our 22-mile ruck in November. That money is all ticket sales that goes directly to an organization called Heroes Bridge in Manassas. They're a really cool veteran service organization, and that's how we help to try to contribute to their cause. All the rest of our rucks are free. This event is free. All we ask is that you bring food to donate to the food bank. Will food, water, and first aid be available if needed? So a lot of times we'll have snacks, water, Gatorades, etc. Black Rifle Coffee has been extremely generous to us. 511 Tactical has been extremely generous to us. So they typically show up at our events and provide all kinds of snacks and beverages for us. We always have at least one person with medical training who is either rucking with us or in a safety vehicle following our ruck. And we have logistical vehicles as well. So if you decide that you thought you were up to 9 or you wanted to challenge yourself for a 12-mile ruck and you get 10 miles in and can't huff it anymore, it's there's no shame. We'll put you in a logistics vehicle and get you back to our start line. Next question: are the coaches certified personal trainers?
Absolutely.
Not this one.
What's that?
Not this one.
Yeah, well, no, absolutely certified personal trainer. Also, Marine Corps combat conditioning certified, and was former a level 1 CrossFit certification. So the coaches are professionally certified and insured. So you don't have to worry about anything in that aspect. I'm not just making stuff up as I go, although I kind of am.
What ages are allowed on this or any rucks? Should I consult my primary care provider before participating?
Absolutely. Anytime you start any sort of exercise, you should, check with your doctor, make sure you're good, make sure your blood pressure is in line. And, but outside of that, any sort of exercise is good for you. Go and check with your doctor, of course. And I recommend people start lifting as early as 12, 13, right? We start light, we start focusing on form and just learn, body weight movements and empty bar movements just to learn and adapt and be comfortable in a gym. Definitely if you get in the gym when you're 12, 13, by the time you're a teenager, or later in your teenager years and adult life, the anxiety that you get coming to the gym tends to go away because you don't feel like an amateur, it's great. And then even as you get older, again, cleared by a doctor, our oldest member is 63 right now, but there's no reason that you don't have an exercise program or do an exercise program and continue with it later in life. You choose now what your next 10 years is going to be like, and sitting on the couch is going to leave you sitting on the couch, but getting up, going for rucks, getting into a weight program is going to make the next rest of your life, next 10 years a lot better, and your ability to enjoy life rather than being stuck on a couch because doctor said you can't lift 50 pounds. Cool, let's start with 10 and see how that goes.
Looks like we already answered the last 2 questions. So have we got any more questions from the internet?
There are some questions. The first question is, this is the same weekend as the Marine Corps Marathon that's happening in Fredericksburg.
Sadly.
Is this ruck route going to be impacted by that? Because it's fairly close to the same area where they're having that at.
Cool.
So-
just to make sure the question was heard, this is the same weekend as the Marine Corps Marathon and the friendly 5K on Saturday.
Family.
Friendly, whatever. So, and the question was, is the route going to be impacted? No, we double checked and made sure there will be no impact to the route that you're walking for the food drive. And the 5K on Saturday morning is only like an hour or so, and we'll be going for 12 hours. So that'll be packed up and gone long before most people come out to the Ruck.
I actually have it on good authority that a handful of Marines are running the family 5K and then coming to participate in the Ruck.
Semper.
So, that's just kind of life goes sometimes. We spent weeks planning our events for the year. We had this one lined up for last weekend. Originally, we were supposed to do this Saturday the 10th.
Yep.
And then the food bank said, hey, that's our Stamp Out Hunger event with the post office, and we'd rather not have you guys competing. I said, okay, we love competition, but we get it. We can move it to the next weekend. That's fine. And then come to find out, after we'd published everything and printed the flyers, it's Marine Corps Marathon half weekend. Yep. So that's what happens. We deal with it. Yep. Anything else?
Neither one of you seem to like running. Why Ruck instead of Ruck?
You can take this one.
Yeah, I can take this because it's better. It's always shapes and forms better for you. You get into zone 2 cardio faster. It's less impact on your joints. You can hold a conversation and be social with people while doing it. It helps build muscle density in your legs and lower back and shoulders better than running. It's just all over a better form of fitness than running.
It's less injury prone. Yeah. Running is one of the highest rates of injury that you'll get. A lot of times because people just go, oh, I need to get in shape, I'm going to go for a run. And they don't have proper shoes, they don't have proper stride, they don't have proper pacing, and they just think they can just go run, which, sure, try it, but that's how you get rolled ankles, bad knees, plantar fasciitis. A lot of things come with running. Now, running is good for you, but rucking is better. Humans have been evolved through history to be able to carry heavy weight on their backs for long distances. Look back to our ancestors going out hunting an animal, a mammoth, and hiking it 20, 30, 40 miles back to the tribe. Humans are especially designed for being able to put weight on their back and carry it. So while running does have its benefits, I recommend you get with a running coach if you're actually going to start a running program, or even easier, put a little bit of weight on your back when you go walk your dog every day. Find a hill and try to walk up it as fast as you can. It's great for you. And that zone 2 cardio, that is that fat burn cardio, right? Where your heart rate's below 140, you're able to talk, but the energy source that you're using is your fat. Instead of when you're and super high heart rate, that's mostly sugar and glucose that your body's using. So it's really good for burning fat and just overall strength, bone density, like Rich was saying.
You can hurt yourself rucking.
Sure.
Right? You can hurt yourself doing just about anything. Running is more injury prone. I wouldn't suggest that people just take a 100-pound pack and put it high on their shoulder or low in their back and just take off. But you can stop and adjust, and you can figure things out. We did, as a gym, I think we did 8 or 9 rucks last year, over 100 miles. We had blisters. We had to help people lose toenails because they're wearing the wrong shoes. Yeah. But we had no ankle injuries, no leg injuries, no back injuries. No injuries to speak of other than a couple of blisters and toenails.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Keith said he was certified in CrossFit as a trainer. Is that what this gym is? And if not, how is it different?
So while I love CrossFit and they've done amazing things for the fitness industry, I took my favorite parts of CrossFit and put it into classic strength training. So the things that I saw CrossFit lacking, one, it's hyper competitive. Unless you're in a gym that's really strict about the culture of not being competitive, it's really hard to go in and write your times on the board every day to see who went faster and then to sacrifice form to go faster than someone else. What we're doing is classic strength training in a group setting. So we're doing deadlifts and squats and bench press and pull-ups, but we're doing it slow and controlled. And the purpose is, my mentality is CrossFit is constantly varied, constantly varied movement. I asked the question, how are you going to get the results you want when your program's constantly varied? You need to have a targeted program to get targeted results. So if you want to grow muscle, lose fat, there are simpler programs that you can do to actually get better results. And then secondly, having those results speak for themselves and helps you then go to CrossFit. Actually, the reality of the other two is CrossFit is super high intensity all the time, going as heavy and as fast as you can. And of course there are gyms that slow you down and build you up, but I tend to see that people go hard in CrossFit for 3 years and then their shoulder finally gives out. A lot of people come to me after their knees and shoulders give out, and hey, let's build you back up with the foundational movements and get you going in that direction as well. So while I love CrossFit and I still do CrossFit style Metcons, we're doing classic strength training in this group setting.
Is it fair to say that you kind of schedule the goals for our training around the times of year as well? Do we tend to do bulking exercises when people are eating the most calories
Absolutely.
in the winter?
So with writing the programming and having a structured program, we do 8 to 12 week blocks of programming where we cycle through, hey, let's just focus on building muscle right now. And then as winter rolls around and people are eating extra calories during the holidays, let's turn this into bulk season where we're using those extra calories to increase our strength numbers. And then as spring rolls around, we'll add some more conditioning work to help burn some fat so you thin out for bikini season or swimsuit season. You feel better in the summer. So the programming changes while every day isn't constantly varied. The program blocks are built to go with the season and get you those results that you're looking for. When you're eating extra calories during Christmas time, we might as well turn that into a bulk so we can make the most of all that extra that you're eating. And then as you get into summertime and you want to, look better in your clothes or, swimsuit or whatever it is, let's focus on leaning out. Again, with that, the foundation of that is nutrition. So our program kind of follows the classic American, eating schedule.
So I'm sure that, I love and appreciate all the questions about the gym and our exercise schedule and that kind of thing, but I'm sure people are tuned in specifically for the Ruck event on Saturday as well. Do we have any more of those types of questions?
Unfortunately, we do not.
Okay,
However, another question is, you mentioned that the rucks are free except that one.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other things that you all do in the community that might be free, that might be upcoming?
We have plans in the future for other events, be it rucking and exercising. Some of the workouts we do, instead of, we get out of the gym and we go to local parks. Last summer and fall, we did a couple events at Brooks Park, and there's a really cool Frisbee golf course back there. Well, we turned it into an exercise course where you launch either by yourself or with a partner. We call it the confidence course. You go for an undisclosed distance where you're running through a trail and you hit a station and you have to do an undisclosed workout until you get there. You don't know how long it is. You don't know how long you're going to be there, but we're tracking to make sure that you're safe as you go. We like getting out in the park and doing events just in the grass, right? Being a combat conditioning instructor in the Marine Corps, we have plenty of both of us were. We have plenty of training on how to just do, make a workout in a field with some water jugs and some sandbags. Those are a lot of fun because it's different. It gets you out of the gym and lets you use your fitness in a different way. Other events, you might have already seen us many times. We like to go set up a booth at Bourbon and Beer Fest or at Fredtoberfest or taco and beer, wherever, a lot of beer involved with them. But we like to go out and meet people, right? Where you actually get to meet us as coaches and you get to see that, like, hey, we're just two authentic guys who want to help people get in better shape.
We're also achieving a milestone next weekend after the Ruck.
Oh, yes. So, that's what the question was targeted at. So we actually are coming up on our 1-year anniversary. We started our gym in the parking lot of Black Rifle Coffee. We had all our gear on a trailer, pulled up, and just hosted a workout right there in the parking lot. We had some other places, 511 Tactical, Cornerstone Church, we would host workouts at. And as we grew, we got blessed with this place and opened this in September, finishing our build out finally and celebrating our 1 year strong honor-bound anniversary. Yeah, Murph-iversary. So we'll be doing Murph similar to CrossFit gyms. That is a workout in memory of Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who was a Navy SEAL that passed away in combat. And an exceptionally tough workout. But again, we have scales for everyone of every fitness level. So even if you haven't done a Murph or you don't know what it's about, come check it out. We'll get you spun up real good.
Just for trying, Murph, you get free barbecue.
Yeah.
I've never rucked before. This upcoming ruck for the food drive, would that be a good one for me to start at?
Yeah, I think it's a great one to start at. We typically start our rucks at the 3 mile distance. It's a 5K. It's not far. And it's also exceptionally good for this because you can kind of test your limits with this, right? If you don't think you're capable of 9 or 12 or 15 miles, start with 3. See how you feel. Do another 3. See how you feel. If you can get two runs done, try a third, right? Yep. Maybe you can get up to 15, 18 miles on the first ruck you've ever done and see what you're capable of.
Yep. And weights when you start. So you don't need to have a heavy pack, right? Any food that you donate is greatly appreciated by us and, of course, by the food bank and those that they serve. So if you're brand new to rucking, you don't know if you can do it, start with 10 pounds, right? Start with 20 pounds if you're in pretty good shape. You know, as you get more advanced, you're looking at the 60-pound pack. Last year, the heaviest pack we had was 102 pounds. That person was very experienced in rucking and knew what they're getting themselves into. They only did one because they were very tired afterwards. But, you know, if you haven't rucked before, 3 miles is probably the best event to start. And then, you know, get the 3 miles, join us with our other rucks that we do. With those rucks, even if we're going for 15 miles and it's your first ruck, don't be afraid to come out and say, I'm going to try to go 3 miles. And we have an admin vehicle that can get you back, or take your pack and you can go unloaded. But challenge yourself. Yeah, 3 miles is a great place to start.
If you're completely new to rucking and you're trying to figure out how much you should start with on Saturday, most people who are serious about rucking are trying to do somewhere between 20 and 50% of their body weight when they ruck. 50% is pretty heavy for a distance. I would suggest you try 10, 20 pounds.
Yep.
See how it feels. And then if you want to do it again, try a little heavier.
Yep. You still got 2 days, technically 2 days, tonight and tomorrow before the ruck. There's plenty of time to go a mile, right? If you're walking at a good pace, you can do a mile in about 20 minutes. And that's, you know, a comfortable walking pace. You know, go try a mile and see how you feel doing that tomorrow. And then if that mile feels pretty easy, yeah, you're ready for 3 for sure.
For the other rucks, if I don't want to carry any weight, can I still participate?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had plenty of people that were, you know, their challenge was, hey, I'm going to walk 6 miles and I'm not going to stop, and unloaded, and they did it. And it was very cool. It was really rewarding to see them proud of themselves and their achievement, because everyone starts at a different fitness level and a different ability. Past injuries might, you know, be something that you're nursing. So yeah, wherever you're at, you know, loaded, unloaded, come out and join us.
A lot of rucking organizations are big on patches. They give out patches for different challenges, that kind of thing. We're ridiculous vet bros, so we're giving out dog tags. We're starting this practice on Saturday. So if you complete the food bank ruck on Saturday, you'll be given a dog tag, and each of the rucks that we do for the rest of the year up until the 22nd. So the 22 pounds for 22 miles, that one we are going to require to get a dog tag. You're going to have to do at least 22 pounds.
Cool. Yep.
If you're still watching, we appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
Cool. See you guys.